And so if we're trying to impose our family understanding of our own experience onto what God has called us to, in terms of how we interact with people who are outside of the church, outside of the faith, strangers that we interact with on the street, we're in some ways at a deficit, because we're trying to use the values that we have in our own family, a broken family that it is, and live into that with the world around us. And God calls us to be much deeper than that. The reality is our families are all, at least at one point, we're all led by broken people who called us into relationship in a broken way and manifested their brokenness in our broken family system. But God is not broken. God is not sinful. The one who leads the family of God is perfect in all of his ways and calls us out of his perfection to live into a different type of relationship than what we might know or understand in our own families as we live as family together. That's a challenge. It's a challenge because it calls us to take a deeper step than any understanding that we have when we're using texts or words like brothers and sisters. Because I know my relationship with my brother. I love my brother. Great relationship with him. Except there's sometimes when I'm like, oh, Jonathan, you're such a doofus. Mm-hmm. The reality of it is that there is no one in this place that I can have that sort of interaction. I can look at them through the lens of God is still at work in you, but then I also need to look at that myself through that same lens. We're all a work in progress. We're all part of God's family, as in his perfection, he leads us into what he calls us towards in the days ahead. It's challenging. And it's especially challenging when we're called to live in for relationships with people outside of the church and the church community who are very broken. We're going to highlight that this morning. But our text speaks to that today and how we think about our world around us. And we always need to be governed by God's design, not ours. Not a political design, not a family system design, nothing of this world but God's design for us. That's where we're going to go today. There's a lot there. Funny thing is, it's only 3 verses. We'll see where it goes. But we're going to trust that as God does his work in us today, as his people, that he's going to call us to be more deeply in relationship with each other as the family of God. Not the family of the Elgersmans or the Lightfoots or the Heemstras or whomever. The family of God. It's a very different type of family than anything we can know in any other way.